Well,
OKJ has been dealing with all of this for what, 4 years? That's the first drink, and I'm probably going to have several more. So if that offends you, or if you just don't want to see that, fine. You don't have to be here. But I will tell you this, that I am very thankful that people let me know that this has happened, because obviously I'm not on my phone all the time, and life happens. And in fact, I was actually driving when somebody alerted me of it, and I had to pull over. And I mean, come on, y'all. I mean, really, come on. I know, Grammy B. I know. I'll tell you what's going on. Some of y'all do recall us talking about this, right? You do recall me saying at some point it could happen that Chad Daybell could become indigent. And of course he was, but John Pryor, he stayed on since 2021. And now he wants to do this shit. Okay, so I'm just going to read the document, and then we'll talk about it. And I just want to apologize, because y'all, we are all looking to April 1st, but when I look at this and think about it being a death penalty case, they're going to move it back, y'all, again and again and again. So I'm just going to read it, and y'all just going to have to excuse me. I'm really, really angry right now.
yeah, Grammy B.
It's strategic, says Karen Byard.
Right, Gene P.
We all talked about it. How was Chad going to continue with just John Pryor? And then I floated out here, well, John Pryor might say, I can't represent him anymore, so you're going to have to do what Idaho law says and get him death penalty certified attorneys. And perhaps, y'all, I'm going to be madder than hell. Madder than hell if John Pryor stays on as a second or third chair. I'm going to be so angry. Because he could have done this sooner, y'all. And yes, this is strategic. And that damn asshole, his attorney, they've had all this time to get ready for this. They knew what was coming. Motion to withdraw as counsel, says John Pryor, pursuant to Idaho Criminal Rule 44.1. Undersigned counsel hereby moves to withdraw as counsel from this case. Since May of 25th of 2021, undersigned counsel has represented Mr. Daybell in this case and the related previous case under case number CR 22-20-0755 prior to that time. In that time, undersigned counsel has undertaken Undersigned counsel has undertaken a sole counsel in all matters of representation. Oh, woe is John Pryor, including obtaining and reviewing discovery, conducting investigation, and hiring and working with numerous experts. Mr. Daybell retained undersigned counsel with personal funds. I mean, why didn't he put in there, my damn client gave me his damn wife's blood money? Because that's what it was. At a hearing on January 19th of 2023. Let's stop. Y'all remember this? Remember, we were just talking about it 2 streams ago. It was January the 4th that they were turning in their notice of alibi, and then what? 2 weeks later? On the 19th, this court inquired. They inquired of Mr. Daybell and declared him indigent pursuant to Idaho Code 19-851. Mr. Daybell does not have the ability to pay for counsel's continued services, and Mr. Daybell seeks the appointment of 2 capital qualified attorneys to represent him in this matter. Well, I'll tell you what, when they ruled him indigent back then, and John Pryor continued to stay on, the bottom line is back when they ruled him indigent, they should have immediately, they did it for Lori. They did it for Lori. But no, again, this is strategic. Well, Gene P., we're going to find out, aren't we? Because this is just a motion. And I'd like to see Stephen Boyce grow some hair on his balls and say, you know what? You've been here 3 freaking years, John Pryor. You're the one that wanted to say you were ready. What? How many times, y'all? How many times after they sought the death penalty on Chad Daybell that John Pryor said in open court, we're ready to go? How many times? As the court is aware, this case is both extraordinarily complex, and the prosecution is seeking the death penalty, which requires counsel to essentially prepare for 2 trials. And then he says he wants them to look at defendant's motion to continue the trial date to enforce Mr. Daybell's constitutional rights. Then he says, reflecting this complexity and the work required to prepare and try this case, this court has set aside 2 full months for a trial, and the prosecution team consists of no less than 5 attorneys from 2 county offices, including an out-of-state attorney hired at taxpayer expense. Remaining on this case would require undersigned counsel to work around the clock, more than full time, for more than 4 months without compensation and without the assistance of any other counsel. Y'all, this damn John Pryor, absolutely, make no mistake, he is telling this court now in a motion in January, near the middle of January, you got February, March, April, there's the trial. He could have said this shit a long time ago. Trace on the case says he didn't know of this till now, and I hope you're being facetious, because he knew all about this shit early on. And then he says, this motion is made with Mr. Daybell's full consent. Mr. Daybell has requested for me that he be given 2 capital qualified attorneys for his trial. I've made a diligent effort to find a lawyer to assist in this matter for a significant amount of time, and no damn attorney is gonna damn represent that damn asshole unless they're getting paid. And the freaking blood money has run out. It's been run out. The attorney who I located and agreed to try to get qualified has not yet been approved by the Public Defense Commission. The time for him to be of any assistance to me in preparing for this trial is long gone, because Mr. Daybell's facing the death penalty and has been determined indigent. He is statutorily entitled to an appointment of two counsel who are capital qualified at state expense. And here we go, y'all. The state of Idaho paid out the ass to that damn hooker and her damn trial, and now they're fixing to pony it up for that damn Chad Daybell. It's so... I just can't... I mean, we talked about this, y'all. Why couldn't I just sit here and say, y'all, we saw this coming. I didn't stop to think about what some of y'all are pointing out, that this is strategic. And by the way, if he does get this and he gets two capital death penalty certified attorneys, do you think that perhaps they might say, you know what, Chad, we think you might need to be evaluated for competency? Maybe, Chad, you need to go into a facility. I mean, we've got the template of your damn hooker woman there. Let's do it to it.
The time for him to be
any assistance to me. He's talking about this attorney who was trying to get certified, is long gone. And then they say this Idaho State Public Defense Commission maintains a roster of capital qualified attorneys, while undersigned counsel could accept appointment to this case if it were non-capital. Because Mr. Daybell is facing the death penalty, undersigned counsel cannot be appointed pursuant to the statute. Well, why wasn't he saying this back in when the courts deemed Chad Daybell indigent? They did it back in January 19th of 2023. That's a whole year ago. And he's just now bringing it up.
The council therefore
Or moves to withdraw. And how about this, y'all? To end it all off, to top it all off, this news we get. And you know what I'm so upset about? It isn't that I'm concerned per se about April 1st and all of us getting to see that trial. What about the victims' family members? Haven't they waited long enough? I mean, gosh! Notice is hereby given on the 30th day of January, 30th day of January 2024 at the hour of 9:30 a.m. Y'all, it's not even the 30th day of January. This is coming out early. He's already, what is this, the 12th? And yet they're going to put it in the file because he's saying he's withdrawing at the end of the month. Or as soon thereafter as counsel may be heard, John Pryor, attorney for the defendant above named, will call up for hearing, a hearing for the defendant's motion to continue. So not only does John Pryor want to withdraw from Chad Daybell's case, and I honestly, y'all, I don't believe this is the last we're seeing of John Pryor. I just have this feeling they're going to appoint these two death penalty certified attorneys, and John Pryor's going to be sitting right there at the table. But now he wants a hearing because the hearing is about a continuance. And how many continuances, if you look through the case file of that damn asshole, how many times have they, one way or another, gotten things moved or severed?
Sandra
LaValle says, what about the house and land? They should have said something a long time ago to this. He may write a damn book, right, Leanne Forsberg? T.S. Jackson 72 says he's going to put the Daybell kids out and sell that house, right? Beach Bum says, well, okay, Beach Bum's talking to Language of Horses. Wilted Lettuce says, if I were being Yvette, I'd say, bye-bye, Chad. You still have the death penalty. Prior, I have two new people to take over just because I knew you'd pull this. Gene P says, I bet Chin is crying in his pig slop. Hello, Mikkel Callahan. Trace on the case says, has Pryor ever gone to trial in any case? It's like he's afraid of it. Well, I'll tell you what, Trace. The bottom line is John Pryor waited. He absolutely waited. Y'all, I just don't see if you've got February and March, or at the a couple of weeks left in January, February and March, and then the very first day of April, that new attorneys could get up to speed.
my hope,
which is a shot in the dark, is that Judge Boyce will absolutely tell John Pryor, sorry, wouldn't want to be you, you know? But it's not going to happen because he's right. He's right. He just was a damn idiot to do this at the last minute. This is not going to spare Chad Daybell from having to go through a death penalty case, regardless of how long it takes.
The Daybell
Kids have to look at that house and graveyard. It's so sad, says Carrie Mack. Beachbum says also maybe Pryor wants Chin to plead out. Many things going on. You know what? It looks to me from the paperwork that Chad Daybell, that John Pryor sat down with Chad Daybell, whether it was last year sometime or here recently, and said, listen, Chad, we've got to pull this card. We've got to put this off. We got to get a continuance. I don't have any more money, Chad. I can't do anything to effectively defend you in a death penalty case. But this man has had all of this time, y'all. He's been on the case since 2021. And it's already 2024, at least the beginning of it anyway.
Jill Schneider.
John Pryor's asking to withdraw as Chad's counsel. And the state of Idaho, because he was already indigent. But see, John Pryor wanted to stay on, don't you know? He wanted to stay on because he wanted he wanted to be famous. He probably wants to write a freaking book. As soon as they ruled that Chad Daybell was indigent, what? How long ago was it, y'all? They ruled him indigent back in January 19th of 2023, which was last year. Any good, ethical attorney representing anyone, him or anyone else, would have said immediately, okay, Chad, you're indigent. You know what, Chad? We can get you 2 death penalty certified attorneys free of charge. But no, he didn't do that. He didn't do it. He held on for a little while longer. Maybe in last year he felt like, well, we got the case severed. That's good. Maybe he thought that somehow they could continue to put it off, or that, you know, what are the results of the hookers damn trial that John Pryor was sitting on the front row watching? I mean, what more advantage does that damn John Pryor need? He's got the whole transcript. He knows the discovery. He knows the witnesses. He knows it. And I'm upset for the victims' family members. I would be lying to say that this, y'all, it's just one thing after another. But it is so important for Kresha and her family. I mean, imagine what they're thinking. I mean, what they're trying to do emotionally and mentally is get ready. They know in a couple of months they're going to trial with Chad Daybell. And that takes a lot off a traumatized family whose family members were murdered. And then they get this news.
Fancy Nancy says
that Kresha and her family need closure, and all of us know that. And they're going to get it. They're going to get it. But maybe they won't get it April 1st. I don't know. I don't know what Judge Boyce is going to do. I honestly don't. What do y'all think? Y'all know I don't have all the answers. Basically, this Ray Room on the Fly is me reacting to the fact that this damn trial should have moved forward on April 1st, but it's not. If John Pryor gets his way, and why wouldn't he get his way?
Carrie Mack says, be done
with Chin already. Right. I'll tell you this, and y'all just, you look at me when I say it. If for some reason John Pryor is pulling this and the state doesn't want to wait any longer, y'all, there is always a shot in the dark that the state says, Okay, John Pryor, you're saying all this, that you can't handle this because it's a death penalty case. We'll take it off the table. Maybe this is John Pryor's way of trying to get the death penalty off the table. Because here's the bottom line. After he sat on the front row and watched the hooker get sent to life in prison for all that time, what the hell's he going to do? We all know that he has no defense. Either way, Chad will eventually die because he will receive the death penalty, says Language of Horses. I want to believe that, Language of Horses. Some people believe in the death penalty, some don't, but I believe Lori and Chad both need the death penalty. But Lori ain't going to get it because she was able to malinger. She was able to pretend. She got out of it. Why can't Chad?
I make no excuse
for taking a shot or two, because if this doesn't make somebody want to drink, then, I mean, unless, well, let's just back up. If this doesn't make me want to drink, then I don't know what else could. It's a power play to force Judge Boyce to remove the death penalty. Wow, Wendy Bastings. That's a good theory. That's a good theory. I think Chad needs the death penalty. But I'll tell you what, I could live with Chad spending the rest of his life bending over for Bubba. That's what I could deal with. Voluminous, says Beach Bum. Peach Lady says, I'm having one with you. It's Friday night, y'all. I did not have a clue. I want to thank CC Johnson 67. I don't even know if you're on here or not, or whether you'll even, but you were the one that alerted me, and then others started alerting me after you. So you were the first one. Y'all wouldn't have wanted to see my face as I looked down. No, I wasn't holding on to my cell phone. I looked down, and you know how it pops up on your screen? It said that, and I had to do a double take, and then I went down the road a little way more, and I was kind of feeling numb, and no, it wasn't, because I hadn't even been drinking nothing, and I pulled over, and I started reading them, and I thought, oh my God. And that's when I typed the community wall, because I was away from home. I couldn't get with y'all, and I thought, well, I've got to react to this, because if I don't, I'm probably gonna scream.
There you go, CC Johnson
67. Thank you so much for thinking of me. Just stop and think about that. You heard it. I don't know if it took you a while or what, it don't matter. The point is you thought of me, and I really, really am grateful for that. Thank you so much. It's shitty ass news. I didn't want to hear it. But again, for those that have hung around for a long time, y'all know we've talked about this. That Chad would, at some point he would be indigent. He became indigent. And John Pryor stayed on. And we all scratched our heads about how the hell has he got a DNA expert and all this other shit. We couldn't understand it, and then I just kind of said, well, maybe he's investing in this case because he knows he's going to write a book eventually and he'll get his money back. Because how much, y'all? How much money could he have gotten from getting the deed to Chad Daybell's property? He hadn't sold it, so he actually wasn't getting any money. And by the way, even all these attorneys on the state's prosecuting team, they've got other cases too. I'm not thinking for a second that the state, is just 100% focused on things. They've got other cases too. I'm sure their priority is this case. But, and Rachel Smith can work on it full time because she's been brought in specifically for that reason. But who knows? They might be getting Rachel Smith to handle other shit that's got nothing to do with Chad Daybell to alleviate things for them so that they can do their job.
Hello, hot
Scorpio Rouge. I hadn't heard from you in forever. Oh, how you doing? Oh, we miss you on here. Oh my gosh, it's been a long time, honey. That house isn't worth enough to cover the fee, says Jill Schneider. Wilted Lettuce says Pryor knows Chad's a piece of, you know what? He knows he's guilty. He's making a name for himself, basically, is all. Carrie Mack says, I would hope people do not buy any of his books so he doesn't get a dime. He ruined families for money. What is it? Laura says, bring back Mark Means. Oh, wonder if Mark Means took the time to be death penalty certified. But then again, he couldn't represent Chad even if he was, because that'd be a conflict of interest.
Hot Scorpio
Bruce has been moving house and have been busy doing that. Life got in the way of the rain. Well, that's all right, Hot Scorpio Rouge. There are people that have come and gone on here. I know who are the ones that are always here. Tina Reddington for sure, from the get-go. There are other people that have also been here as best as they can. I mean, they've got life too. They've got other channels they visit and other people to hang out with, or things going on in their own life. I get it. Donna Donald says it's been 4 years. Pryor should have been working on it. You're right, Donna Donald. That goes without saying. That goes without saying. So, when I told y'all on the last live stream that me and Mr. Wayne were coming this weekend, and I said, it's going to be interesting. Well, after this news, I don't think we're going to do it because I'm too pissed off, okay? I'm just too pissed off about the whole situation. Why the heck did Pryor withdraw? I'm so far behind. Well, Carrie Ann, according to the documents, he says that he has sat down with Chad, and this just so happens to be a whole year later after Chad's been deemed indigent. And he's talked to him, and Chad wants 2 death penalty certified attorneys. Y'all, it's not going to happen April 1st. And he will get his way if this goes through. I mean, what? A little shot in the dark. Judge Boyd says, no, John Pryor, you told us on several occasions that you were ready to go. Y'all know that. Y'all know that. Y'all know how many times John Pryor said that. Pryor is a good lawyer, and I take no joy in saying this. It's strategic. Right, Leanne Jordan. And that's another thing to consider. We were all ready because I felt like John Pryor would. He would push those buttons, and he would pull out stuff that Archie and Thomas did in Lori's trial. Things that we would have all been interested in hearing.
He filed to withdraw.
The judge says yay or nay. Right, Beach Bum? So if you're a praying person, or if you're an optimistic person, or whatever, let's hope this hearing that John Pryor wants, where he also says, regardless, I need a continuance. The judge boys, I'm waiting for the state's response. The state is going to go and nail his ass to the wall about his past statements about how he's ready. He's ready. He's ready. Like SpongeBob. He's ready. He's ready. Hi, Debbie. Yeah, you're right, Mikhail Callahan. We've saw it. In the last 4 years, we've seen the different things, judicially speaking, that will cause delays. Rebellious Raven says, wonder if this is a plot to persuade the state to drop the death penalty. Well, I said that a little earlier, Rebellious Raven. That's a good comment. It's there's always a possibility of that. If you think about it, January of last year, he was ruled indigent. That was after the notice of alibi, and it was before they severed the case against from Lori and Chad. Maybe John Pryor felt like he had a victory with that and thought things were going to move forward on that. And it did. And it moved forward and it moved forward. And he just did this. He did this to put this trial off. And obviously he knows he's in over his head. Everybody knew he was in over his head. We all said it time and time again. How in the world is he going to be able to defend him, and not be able to hire all these people, or he doesn't even have a paralegal or anyone helping him? Well, that was his choice. That was his choice. And so, what I'm most upset about is the victims' family members. Because this is absolutely going to put this trial off. And the victims' family members deserve some justice. After all this time, I'm going to be looking for reaction from Larry and Kay and Kresha.
He filed this motion last minute
On Friday before the holiday weekend on purpose, says T.S. Jackson 72. Debbie says, oh no, I'm so behind on this case. Lordy, please don't let them put this off any longer. Well, Debbie, whether you are behind on this case or not, there are things that all of us on here, we don't know it all. We're still learning stuff ourselves. Beach Bum says he's had years to get some help.
State should ramp up.
Hire the defense and get this over with, says Moonlight View. Sandra Lavallee says he did this to put the trial off. The judge will not be happy. No, he's not going to be happy, Sandra. Tracy Taylor says he may be trying to call the state's bluff to remove the death penalty. That's a good possibility, Tracy. We're all talking about this. Robin Quinality, I'm still here. I try to listen to your lives on the replay while I work. Well, we're glad you're here, Robin, and don't work too hard, okay? Fancy Nancy says, well then, by God, let's get Loho rolling on her trial. Right. If they're going to put Chad's shit off, and they want to say over there in Arizona, well, we don't need an overlap because there's some of the same witnesses. And we should be thinking about the fact that the victims' family members shouldn't have to be going to 2 trials on and off at the same time. Well, if Chad gets his shit moved back, they need to move it up for the hooker. That's what they need to do.
It'll be what it's going to be.
KJ in the race says, Kresha K. Easton of Difficult Research. Aren't we all used to this kind of stuff by now? I mean, coming from the attorney who used my kids' remains as leverage. I mean, here we go. Oh my God. That just angers me, Kresha. You put a family member's say in this. On one side of it, my outrage and anger, I feel ashamed because y'all are the ones that should be feeling this and I shouldn't be doing this, but by God, y'all, we worked so hard not only to be supportive and prayerful and all these things in this case, to try to do what we can to be positive every damn time. They do this to the family members. They're still victimizing them.
It's called criminal
justice because the criminals have rights, KJ and the Rays. So many loopholes for the perps. Just my opinion, says Hot Scorpio Rouge. Think about this, says Kresha. When is the best time to capitalize on a murderer's house where heinous acts took place? Makes you wonder if this is also an attempt to make his money back somewhere. That son of a bitch! I am so mad! Ugh.
We have been wondering all this
time how John was going to handle this case. Solo around the now. He's bailing on the 11th hour, says Gene P. And Beach Bum says, I think I could have put a team together and done as well or better than that Pryor. I get you, Beach Bum. Tina Reddington says Pryor knows he can't win. So is he now trying to get out so he doesn't have that loss in his cards? Well, he is a freaking capital L loser. How dare him? How dare he do everything he's doing? Wendy says, in my opinion, I would rather see Pryor have to stay with the case and start on April 1st without the death penalty than to see new counsel and a huge continuance, even though Chad needs death. And I agree with that, 100%. And I think it was Kresha and her family that said, they were for capital punishment. They were, but they were okay. Whatever happened in terms of life in prison. Everyone call John Pryor's office and tell him what a piece of shit he is, says NF Mom. Hello, this is John Pryor's office. May I help you? Yes. Can I speak with John Pryor? Maybe who's calling? My name is so-and-so. Well, you'll have to leave a message. He's not in the office right now. Okay, will you tell John Pryor he's a piece of shit and he needs to grow hair on his balls? He got invaluable notoriety and a house without going to trial and losing, says Holden. Y'all, put that in perspective. Let me repeat it again. John Pryor got invaluable notoriety and a house without going to trial and losing, says Holden. I'm mad with you too, sweetie, says Leanne Jordan. Linda Keneal says, Kresha, my heart breaks for you and your family. Kresha says, as an optimistic person, we at least don't have to hear his whining ass for weeks upon weeks just saying, well, look at that, y'all. OKJ is just negative as all get out, and here she is, though a woman who lost her family members. And she's still trying to be optimistic. And that makes me feel so bad about myself for being so freaking angry and cynical.
Hot Scorpio Rouge says,
Kresha, I think of you often. 2017, my son was murdered, and I have to write a memoir to get my lad's story told. I have no faith in the criminal justice. All my love and strength to you, says Hot Scorpio Rouge to Kresha K. Easton of Difficult Research. He must be disbarred, says Stella F. He knew he's not qualified, and he knew how much money Chad had. Well, let's just clear this up once and for all, Stella F. As long as Chad Daybell held a privately held attorney, even though the state called him indigent way back last year, as long as he had that private attorney, he was not required to have death penalty certified attorneys. And John Pryor knew this, and John Pryor stayed on this whole last year, and then he wants to wait to the beginning of this year. Absolutely. It does line up with upcoming pretrial dates that are going on as well. All you have to do is look in the case file and look at pretrial scheduling and conferencing and stuff and look at the dates. You'll see John Pryor wasn't going to go any further. He's going to spring this on everyone, including the victim's family members, who absolutely has waited 4 freaking years. Over 4 years. They're still waiting on Charles Vallow, his murder to be avenged.
Beachman says, Kresha,
God bless you. I got a bit. You're better than me. That better than I. Diana Renee McDonald says, Kresha K, and she has a lot of love for you. Kresha says to Hot Scorpio Rouge, she says, this brings tears to my eyes. I'm so sorry for your loss. Yet I share with you the same distrust in the criminal justice system as well. Justice through understanding has been I'm waiting on the rest of it, has been the most beneficial way to get justice for our loved ones. And that's beautiful. Both ways, Hot Scorpio Rouge and Kresha, that's beautiful. We need to hear this. I need to hear this. I've already had 3 shots. And forgive me, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. But if I don't take the shots, I'm not going to calm down. At least in this. And maybe that will help me as well.
I don't think Chad
Was ever declared indigent. Am I wrong? Says Stella F. Yes, he was. Right here. Right here on John Pryor's notice or his motion to withdraw. It says exactly right here. And we knew then, but if you didn't know, it says right here, Mr. Daybell retained underside counsel from personal funds, the blood money of Tammy. At a hearing on January the 19th of 2023, this court inquired of Mr. Daybell and declared him indigent pursuant to Idaho Code 19-851. Mr. Daybell does not have the ability to pay for counsel's continued services, and Mr. Daybell seeks the appointment of 2 capital qualified attorneys to represent him in this matter. So, that might have gotten past a lot of people, but actually, y'all, January of 2023, he was deemed indigent. He ran out of money. And then you have to ask the question, if he ran out of money and it was proven by the state of Idaho that he was broke, and they were able to rule him legally indigent, why in the hell didn't John Pryor move on and withdraw from there? He stayed on this whole year. It is a strategic move. But no matter what, it don't matter what happens at one point or another, Chad Daybell is going to get screwed up the butt by Bubba in prison when he goes the rest of his life or to death row.
I don't think so.
Oh, the journey to justice. You say I'm the best? What, the best of making a damn asshole of myself? An idiot of myself? Y'all, think about what we've been through. Think about what Cresha's been through. Think about all this time, y'all. Think about it. And now we are faced with this. Sandra Lavalle says, I'm so sorry for the family. Sending love. Vintage Mama 3 says, you tell us what we all want to say. Well, I wish y'all would tell me what I want to say. You know what I'm saying? I wish this was turned around. I really do. Because I look up to all of you. Fancy Nancy says, Beach Bum, first I pray Judge won't accept Pryor's resignation. If not, I hope he gets punished in some way for sure. Well, what's going to happen to John Pryor? All he has to do is tell the Idaho Bar Association, well, I did the best. I did the best I knew how, and it wasn't strategic. It came down to it, and Chad came to me and said, you know what? I think I need death penalty certified attorneys. Obviously, y'all, John Pryor strung Chad Daybell along this whole year, and I think it's funny as hell. I think it's funny as hell that damn asshole has an attorney like that. Every time Chad Daybell walked into the courtroom for motion hearings and this and that, or sitting on the Zoom call, he always looked like he was so confident with his attorney. John Pryor sitting there, and John Pryor blowing farts out his ass. At the same time, he's damn doing flash drinks behind everybody's back. John Pryor would have absolutely, y'all, he would have absolutely chewed Melanie Gibb, David Warwick, Zulema. He would have chewed them a new asshole. And I was looking forward to that. Because they sure as hell got kid gloves in the hookers trial. All we all want is justice for those precious kiddos. And we all thought that we were so close to see it happen. And now this weasel pulls out another card to set it back, says Carrie Ann. I could not have said that better. Linda Keneal says, no reason to apologize or no end to apologize. I don't know what that means. This nightmare has caused many of us to get mad, cry, yell and look for answers. It's how we do it as a community. Exactly, Linda. That does bring my blood pressure down a tad to hear you say that, and I appreciate that. And I appreciate the Rays and all the other people that don't consider themselves Rays that just come to visit to see KJ be an idiot or whatever it is, whatever reason. I want to thank you. I want to thank you for your presence. I want to thank all the many of y'all. I know the Rays, every damn one of them, has been there to not only be monetarily supportive of Cresha, but also to be there emotionally for Cresha and difficult research. And I am not backing down, and I know good and damn well my Louisiana sister, Cresha K. Easton of Difficult Research, is not backing down. Just as she said on her last live stream, she made a vow, she made a promise to Charles Vallow, her uncle. She is going to kick some ass left and right. She's going to uncover some things, as she already has, and she is going to continue to put me and everybody else in awe.
Lisa Taglabo says,
John Pryor owns Chad's house. He's not going anywhere. It's strategic. You think so? Because, we talked about this, a lot of us. I said, wouldn't it be interesting if they get the death penalty certified attorneys and John Pryor stays on as third chair or something? Oh, I think he would. I think he would. I think he would want to be there. And I think that if he sat down with Chad Daybell and says, Chad, it's time now to pull the card, a little strategy, or maybe he didn't even do that. Maybe this was not. I guarantee you, this was not what he said in this withdrawal motion paperwork that Chad told him, I want to death penalty certified attorneys. If he did, that's after John Pryor sat down with him and said, Chad, we've got to put this off a while longer. I'm going to still be here with you, Chad. I'm going to still be here, but we've got to get some heavy hitters in here. The state's got all these attorneys. We've got to have some people in here. Yada, 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 yada.
Tina Reddington says,
Beach Bum, no difference. He wanted Pryor and he has him. And I believe it. I believe that this isn't the last of John Pryor. I don't. And this is gonna, you know what? You have to ask that question. What if Judge Boyce at this motion hearing says, no, John Pryor, you've been on this case since 2021. This is all this time. You said that you were ready to go. Even after the death penalty was on there, you knew it was a death penalty case. No, John Pryor, you can't leave the case. He could do that. He could do that. Judge Boyce could do that. That's why I'm looking for the state in their response to his motion to withdraw. Because I just think that it's any defense attorney could pull this shit at any time if they wanted to. There's got to be some kind, wouldn't it be a good argument if Judge Boyce at this motion to withdraw here and said, well, John Pryor, remember January 19th of 2023, which was the beginning of last year, we ruled that your client was indigent. At that time, John Pryor, you kept telling us that you were right on track and you were ready to go and your client needed to be severed from the Hookers trial there because your strategy was going to be different and all this other stuff. And, I think that Judge Boyce sees the forest through the trees. I don't think that Judge Boyce can sit there and say, oh, he's asked for a motion to withdraw, so I've got to do this because something could happen on appeal or whatever. John Pryor does not say one word in his motion that he cannot effectively represent Chad Daybell. He does bring up, well, the state has all these heavy hitters and all this and that, but he doesn't say ineffective assistance of counsel. He doesn't say it. Love you too. Love is a 4-letter word. Cresha says, look at it like this. They've taken the most important people out of our lives, this world. The rest is just systematic and a learning process of how they manipulate the system. Kresha says, we learn. Amen to that, and always so appreciated and grateful to have you all along on this journey towards justice. Whatever that means to us all, love always wins, says Kresha K. Easton. And then, obviously, y'all, Kresha's saying, come on down to the bayou. Boo, LOL, yes, that. So, what do we have to look forward to, and what does this all mean? Y'all, first of all, I think most of y'all already knew. I don't know why y'all have to hear me blow hard here. Y'all are smart and intelligent and articulate enough to really see the forest through the trees on what all this means. This could very well mean Chad's trial being pushed back so that another team of attorneys that are certified death penalty attorneys can get up to speed. Could death penalty certified attorneys get up to speed in just a couple of months? Maybe. Maybe we will get some encouraging news. I mean, a death penalty certified attorney, there's a lot of death penalty cases. I'm sure if all the stuff is there, but I'm not going to give anyone any false hope. This is a very large case. It involves multiple victims, multiple witnesses. What does Beach Bum say? Voluminous, 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 says John Pryor over and over and over again. And yet at the same time, he can tell everyone we're ready to go. We're ready to go. Gene P says, how much money has John Pryor made off this case so far? What was the property value of the house? I have no idea. Gene P, I don't know. He hasn't sold that house. His name is on the deed. He's got the house that's in his possession. Has he borrowed money against it? Because he hasn't sold it. He could borrow money against the house and property. Tina Reddington saying Gene P more than he should. Yes, Carrie Ann. Judge Boyce can tell John Pryor no. Mr. Potato Head elected to keep John Pryor even though he was broke. Does the state still pay John Pryor at the rate of court-appointed rates? That's a good question, Hot Scorpio Rouge. I think that when he was found indigent, he was able to... I honestly don't think John Pryor was getting paid by the state. Because the only thing, according to code and statute, is that they get death penalty certified attorneys paid for by the state taxpayer. So no, John Pryor was not getting money from the state, I don't think. I could be wrong, but it doesn't say anything in the code that if they're not death penalty certified attorneys, that they get paid by the state. It has to be death penalty certified attorneys in order for the state of Idaho to pay. Beach Bum says, when I checked 3 years ago, it was about $260,000. He can't sell while he's representing, he represents, it's against Idaho law, says Beach Bum. Well, there you go. There's your answer. Kresha says, when Pryor, it begs to question when Pryor with a Pryor will strike and sell the murderer's house. Ugh. Hello, Liza Joe. Is Chad Daybell's daughter still renting this house from John Pryor? She's still living there. I don't know any of the arrangements. Maybe someone in the comments knows. If anybody's coming to this channel for me to know all the answers, I don't. I'm just like you. No different than you. I wonder if there was a mortgage on the house, says Jill Schneider. It's a good question. Pryor says that he can represent Chen if the death penalty is taken off the table. Well, of course. What other card does he have, Curly Shirley, to get the death penalty taken off the table for him? He's already, remember the motions? We went over the culpability argument and the constitutional argument, and Judge Boyce said access denied. The death penalty stays on the table. He has no other cards to play. All he can do is put this off. He probably promised Chad that he would be able to get the death penalty off the case, especially because he promised Chad he could have the case severed. And he actually got a win. He got the death penalty, the case is severed, but as far as the death penalty, he's shit out of luck. When I went in April of 2021, Joseph Murray came outside with his camera phone, pointed at us while I was visiting the memorial fence. Asshole, just saying, says Cresha K. Easton of Difficult Research.
Grammy B says,
probably one of the most important comments aside from this terrible news and the case itself. No one has all the answers. We're all searching for justice through understanding. There you go, Grammy B. I love you for saying it. And I'm going to propose a toast to Grammy B. I'm going to propose a toast to Cresha K. Easton of Difficult Research, and to all the Rays, and to all the people that love and care about what happens to these victims' family members, who want to honor and love the fact that we lost some beautiful, beautiful people in this world.
Idea Pan says,
John Pryor's throwing shit at the wall to see what will stick to get Chatty Boy off of the chopping block. Well, he's shit out of luck, isn't he, Idea Pants? And cheers to you, Hot Scorpio Rouge. I'm so glad you were here this evening.
Cresha wants all of
Y'all to know that we are all not quitters. We're not going to quit. I mean, y'all think about how many delays we've had and all the things that we've had to do to continue for us all to stay connected. That means so much. I know for a fact, Cresha, and it means a lot to me. And I know it means a lot to the Rays. Beach Bum says, love always wins. John Pryor can stay on the trial with other lawyers and still have the trial. All right, Sandra, yes. He can withdraw to allow Chad to get his death penalty certified. He gets to have two of them, just like Lori had Thomas and Archie. And the taxpayers of Idaho, they better start opening up their wallets, because once again, they've already paid out the ass for the hooker. Now they're going to pay out the ass for that jerk.
Yeah, and Cresha's
reminding us, y'all remember, we dealt with this with Lori and Mark Means. Remember when Lori got put in the freaking facility because she's a good faker, just like she fakes her orgasms? The fact is we all were so downtrodden about that. But it went by. You know why? Because we were there to support one another. We were there just to be ourselves, to contribute in any way that we could, even if we didn't want to put something in the comments. Our presence was there. The Rays, Research Analysis and You, Difficult Research, that Cresha K. Easton is absolutely got a beautiful love always wins community. We're all one, y'all. It's always been that way. There's never been a separation of that. It's always been that for me, and I know it's been that for everyone else. And it's very disheartening every damn time we hear stuff like this, because we know the victims were loved so much, and were good people, and the children were so innocent and loved by so many. So many learned all about this family. And that's what angers me, because I just want the family to receive their justice. That does not mean that their hurt and trauma is going to go away, and somehow after Chad is sent off to death row or life in prison, and Lori gets her shit done over there in Arizona, and she's life in prison too, that the victims' family members are going to be able to just never ever hurt again. Closure. Closure for victims' family members does include having to heal. The trauma is there, y'all. I had a brother who was murdered years ago. It still bothers me.
Carrie Ann says, I'll be here
To the end, however long it takes to finally get justice for all the victims. I will not leave your side, Cresha and KJ. And Carrie Ann, I believe that. I know you don't blow smoke up anybody's ass. You've always been upfront. You know that you've seen the good, the bad, the ugly of me and Cresha. But the bottom line is we're not going to give up. None of us are going to give up that truly have a heart for justice. Justice through understanding. It just is what it is. The court needs to get their ducks in a row and stop playing games with the family members, says Paul Top. Exactly.
X-Files, you've had
Some great comments in the past, and we appreciate you. As I've always said, I wish that it was me looking at all of your faces and listening to what you have to say, but I'm relegated to these damn comment boxes. But I've learned and I've been educated a lot through all of this time, y'all.
I can't imagine the
Judge will allow John Pryor to play with him like this, says Rachel Black. Oh, Lord. It's a good point, Rachel. Excuse me. Cresha says, Idaho taxpayers, you're paying for this murderer's adjudication. Have your lawmakers make it known to anyone wanting to commit heinous acts that your state don't play that game. Set the precedent. Love you too, Paul Top. Jay says, I just heard, like Pryor didn't know he was going to run out of money a year ago. Is he going to kick Chad's spawn out of the house now? Good point, Jay. I mean, there are some pretty outraged people outside of the victim's family members. Y'all know how y'all feel, and I know how I feel. Can you imagine? Can you imagine what it's like for Cresha, who's basically having to take a deep breath in and out every time she thinks of the fact that she's got to go to that damn asshole's trial?
Hot Scorpio
Who
Rouge
says to Cresha, just being here today has got me motivated to keep on with my memoir, as I am 7 chapters in and have another 7 or so in me. Thank you for encouragement to keep at it. This is an example, y'all, of something that we have all been looking at in terms of a criminal case where we have actually gotten the honor of getting to know victims' family members and how they feel, how they think, what they say. It isn't just relegated to a little tweet or something this or that. Cresha has opened herself up time and time again. And here you have Hot Scorpio Rouge showing us all, saying, just being here today has got me motivated. And I know I can speak for myself in that this has motivated me. When I met Cresha and Jason and Larry and Kay and all them in their home there in Louisiana, it became very personal for me. That's my motivation. That's my motive. I want to do everything I can, and I have, and I will continue
Heidi's mom says, been
a long time. I had to jump on and see who I needed to donate bail money. Heidi's mom says, I had to jump on and see who I needed to donate bail money for because of this bullshit. I'm very curious how Boyce might rule. He hasn't been putting up with Pryor's bullshit. Hello? Yeah, I'd like to speak to Heidi's mom. Yeah, I'm over here. I'm in jail. Yeah, this is KJ. Well, I did something terrible. I shouldn't have done it, but I went over to John Pryor's office. Yeah. He was in the back. He was sitting down. He was passing gas, but he was, at the same time, he had a flask going. And his secretary wouldn't let me see him, so I drop kicked her. I went through the door, and John Pryor looked at me, and he actually urinated on himself because I had this look on my face. Well, anyway, Heidi's mine. I need bail money because I took the flask, Heidi's mine, and I shoved it in his ear and all that. You know, I kicked him so hard that my foot went up his ass, and my foot was winking at everybody. Tater tots. Krista says, you are wonderful. We love you and thank you from the bottom of our hearts for being such a fierce advocate for our family's justice. You're the cream of the crop as far as we're concerned. Well, I'll tell you what, Krisha, y'all are absolutely America's family. Every one of you have held yourself in high esteem. And I admire you and I admire your family. Pure and simple. I mean, who am I anyway? I mean, even though I mean every word of that, I'm just an old Tennessee girl that when I know something is needs to be done and something should be done right, and I get those urgings in my heart, those urgings to, even though I fall on my face and I make mistakes and I'm not exactly everything that I need to be, the bottom line is you and your family deserve way more than what I could ever do or anyone else could ever do. But we all can do what we can do, right?
Oh, that's true,
Krisha. I really believe that. I believe any good and perfect thing comes from above. And when you love and you're supportive of other people that maybe you've never met, or, you know, there's a lot of people that have proven this time and time again. I do believe God works through people. Well, I love y'all, Carrie Ann. Y'all say some of the funniest things. And y'all need to realize this. Y'all's personalities do come out in your comments, and a lot of times, and those are things that I feel like I've had a joy to get to know. Pryor would be on his portable toilet if I kicked the door open. You know, the one he looks like he's sitting on in the court. T.S. Jackson 72. Oh, right. Well, y'all, we're going to get through this together. We are going to continue seeking justice through understanding. Everybody on this channel right now, I believe, for the most part, subscribe and go to Krisha K. Easton's Difficult Research. If you're not doing that, I understand everyone has a choice to do what they want. But if you really want to make a difference and you really want to understand anything, if you really want to see it, then that's the most important decision. I feel like anyone who comes to this channel, that's what I would say first and foremost. To go and lend support to Difficult Research, Krisha K. Easton. Why the F did he wait till it's impossible to keep the April date? This was somehow strategic, but don't know how. Well, I'll tell you what, Jay, Everyone's saying it, and I believe it. And you're hitting the nail on the head as well.
And Dora Opinion says, hi.
Hi, Crushy K. So, we're going to continue. We're not going to allow John Pryor and Chad Daybell, that damn asshole, to get us all down again. Just as Cresha said, we all got through the stupidity of Lori's Idaho Department of Health and Welfare stay for 10 freaking months. We got through that, right? If we can get through that, we'll get through this. No matter what comes our way, we're going to stay strong and we're going to continue. We're going to pick it apart. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. And people think that we're beating a dead horse. We can continue. And when you seek and ye shall find, I guarantee you, I'll be there. You'll be there. Crash will be there. We're all going to be in this together. No matter what. Because this isn't bullshit, y'all. I am a human being with feelings. And I'm here telling you I love you. And I think of you as a friend. And even if you don't think the same way about me, I don't give a damn. I'm still going to feel that way. And we're all going to stick together, whoever wants to. So, with that said, the news is what it is. It sucks. Justice delayed is justice denied for now. But we will get justice. We will get justice through understanding. As I sit here tonight, we're going to get it. So with that said, I love you all. We'll get back together soon. Cresha, let me know, honey. You got my number and you got my private email. We'll get together on this. We will be the dynamic duo any damn time you want. Or we can go and do whatever we do and continue together, separate, together, whatever it takes. I love you all and keep on looking.